Here's a fun story. This took place about 2017 or so. I had a couple operations, and I was very immobile at the time. I had back operations and leg operations and whatnot, and so I wasn't getting around all that well. Plus, I was on some serious medications. So my son, who plays men's softball in the league here in Somers, was always taking me to games. I like to watch him play, and I would at that point I would sit in the car and watch from the right field area or the foul line area. Sometimes, if I felt you know brave enough and the weather was good, I'd make my way over to the bleachers. Anyway, well, one night in late April, he had a 9 o'clock game. They played 3 games a night. Uh, a 6 o'clock game, an 8 o'clock game, 9:15 game. So it was a late game, and so he says, "You want to go to game tonight?" He calls me. "You want to go to game tonight, Dad?" And I says, "I don't know." I says, "It's going to be a cold night, and it's a late game. I don't know. Maybe I'll sit this one out." He says, "All right, no problem." He says, "I'll give you a call when the game's over, let you know how we did." I said, "Okay." So I'm home that night with Cindy. We're watching television and everything, and it gets to be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 10:30. I don't hear from him. Cindy goes to bed, and I'm still watching TV. 11 o'clock comes, and I start texting him because I figure it's 2 hours. The game's got to be over in 2 hours. So I'm texting and texting and texting. I keep in mind that I know that he doesn't carry his phone on him when he's out on the field playing because he doesn't want to slide and break the phone or whatever. So, so I'm being kind of patient. But it gets to me around midnight, and I'm getting a little worried. So, but I've been calling and texting and leaving messages and everything. So I got a brainstorm about 10 minutes to 12 that I would call the Somers Police Station, which is right next door to the field where they're playing, and just ask the cop, "Hey, buddy, do me a favor, look out the window and see if the lights are on at the field. This way I'll know the game is still on, maybe extra innings, maybe we got a late start. At least it'll give me some peace of mind." But not thinking, I called the Somers Police, and of course, they're like Mayberry, RFD with Barney Fife. They shut down at 5 o'clock, and all calls go to the state police after that. So I got a guy on the phone who's state police. He was very helpful, I guess. His name was something like Sergeant Blinsky or something like that. "How can I help you?" I says, Sergeant, I says, "I got a son that's playing his men's softball game tonight, and he said he was going to call me when the game was over, and it's like almost midnight, and he hasn't called." And he says, "What?" And so yeah, I says, "I'm a little worried that maybe there was some problems. Maybe there's an accident in town, or not reported vehicle problem or something." So he says, "How old's your son?" I said, "I don't know. He's in his 30s, 34, 35, like that." And he says, "Oh, okay." He says, "Does your son live with you?" I said, "No, no. He lives in Wacabuck. He works at the Wacabuck Country Club, and he lives over in Lewisboro." And so he says, okay." He says, "Well, there was one vehicle report of an incident. What kind of car does he drive?" I says, "He's got a brand new white Jeep Cherokee." He's okay. He said, "You happen to know the license plate number?" I said, "Yeah, it's Eye of the Tiger." He went, "What?" I said, "Eye of the Tiger. Eye of the Tiger, Rocky 3, Eye of the Tiger." And he says, "Okay." He says, "Let me ask you a question. Is your son a normally functioning adult?" So I said, "Yeah, of course." So he says, "Okay." He said, "Let's recap. You got a son that's 34, maybe 35 years old, who does not live with you, who played a ball game tonight at 9 o'clock, said he would call you when it's over, and now it's 11, 11:30, quarter to 12, and you're calling up, ringing him up as a missing person?" I said, "Yeah, that's pretty much it." So he said, "Now I'm feeling like a jerk." He says, "What's your number? I'm gonna check on this traffic incident in Lewisburg. I'll call you back." So I gave him my number, and I hang up the phone. As soon as I hang up the phone, it rings, and so that's the cop already. And I pick it up, and it's my kid, and he says, "Dad, what the hell are you doing?" He says, "I just got back to my car. I looked at my phone. There's 47 messages and 12 voicemails. What the hell's going on?" And he says, he says we had a game, and after the game, a couple of guys we hung around and had a beer in the parking lot, and his best friend had asked him to be his godfather, to be godfather to his brand new baby. So that's what was taking him so long. But I'm sure that desk sergeant, a state trooper, was telling that story for quite a while. Is your son a normally functioning adult? I love it.